Guys, welcome to the Portals and Pathways podcast, episode 4. And tonight's a very special one to me because Robb Demarest is going to be joining us at the table of discussion, speaking about his career in the paranormal field. This is just an incredible night, guys. I'm very excited to get Robb on here. But first and foremost, I'm going to thank Horvath Spiritual Consulting for sponsoring this tonight. So I don't have a podcast next week. Horvath Spiritual Consulting has sponsored throughout. No, it was November 21st up until now. So I want to thank you, Horvath. You do after hours events. You are starting to speak across the state here in Minnesota. People check out Hawk Horvath, Horvath, right here on Facebook, Instagram to get more on her. So therefore, I am going to bring Robb in right now, and we're going to start the discussion. How's it going, Robb?
Good, Brady. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for taking the time to speak with me tonight.
Yeah, I just love the fact that we pretend we weren't talking 30 seconds ago. Like, oh,
Hey, dude,
there you are, Brady. How has life been
man.
in that minute? All right, so the first question that I got in the chat room that they've been asking me since we started is if you could, are you familiar with Lordsburg Gate in New Mexico?
I am not.
This is a door that supposedly exists in the upper gulch in this desert region that if you step through, you will go to a new dimension, right?
What?
I'm not making this up. If you're at home, look it up. If you've heard of it, chime in. What's up, Jenny? And so here's what I want to ask you. So you have no idea what this new dimension is going to be.
No.
Is there going to be oxygen? Are you going to be like annihilated when you step through? So here's the question. Would you, like suddenly you wake up tomorrow morning and the door is in your yard. Would you roll the dice and step through?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably. Would you?
Would I?
Yeah.
Fuck no. I mean, let's be real. Wait a second. The chances are like 99 out of 100, it's not going to be compatible with our life form and you die instantly. What's wrong with you, Brady? I'm rethinking this podcast. This is so weird now. You're just like, why not? Somebody will feed my animals. Bye.
Hey, no. I've been watching Stranger Things, Robb. I'm sorry.
I'm waiting for the end of the season, to try and watch the whole thing. Like, honestly, I skipped from season 1 to season 4. I wasn't that into it. And then I watched season 4. Hey, Scott, how are you? I guess, by the way, I don't need to do that. Hey, Nick. I just like to try and take over as host as soon as I can. So I just want to give a big shout out for Nick. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking to Brady tonight, who is well known in the area. And he was talking about his experience with this Lordsburg is a gate or door. Anyway, go on, Brady.
No, you don't have a certain curiosity of what would be on that other side, Robb.
Of course I do. But
you
like,
wouldn't want to go through it.
I think there was times in my life where I would have done it. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like we've all had those moments where it's like, hey, anything other than this, right?
Yeah.
So there was times where I might do it. We have another question in the chat, and it said, what is Brady's familiarity with the Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia?
I do not know about the Dyatlov Pass incident in Russia, Robb. Could you?
Okay, I'm sorry. No, it's not from me. This is from the chat. Julie Joe Larson wanted to know about that one. So sorry, Julie. Brady is not up on that one. Maybe we can get now. You were on a number of shows we've seen: Ghost Hunters International, Haunting Australia. I know you did TV in Malaysia and India. Which one of those experiences, all these years later, really sticks out to you?
Robb, I'm going to flip that question around, and you're going to answer that one.
Oh,
I'm getting hijacked on the show.
Ghost Hunters International, I would say Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines stuck out for me. That was kind of a weird one, really kind of a tough one. Haunting Australia, definitely. It was an investigation that the team did after we filmed the show at a place called Beechworth Mental Asylum, which I think is one of the most haunted locations on earth. And I've been to quite a few of them. Seekers, which I did in Malaysia, would be the Malaysian War Museum. Like, we don't know when you go to a war museum in the States, right? Like, they're going to say this many people died, and they're not going to show like people with their heads cut off, like piles of heads.
No, absolutely not.
Really pretty creepy. As far as India, we had some good experiences. The language barrier. I had my best buddy Gaurav with me over there, so I was just kind of along for the ride. Like, once in a while, they would say like, "So what do you think this means?" And I would be like, "Nothing good." Good? No good? That was as good as I could do. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, that's my answer to that question. So we have, wow, the chat is lighting up tonight. Brady, Bigfoot, yay or nay?
I am skeptical on Bigfoot. Okay, so we're by Reamer, Minnesota here, Rob, and that is where Finding Bigfoot. They filmed, I think, about 10, 15 years ago, and they call it the Bigfoot capital of the United States. I have never had a Bigfoot experience. I know people that have. There's a Minnesota Bigfoot Society up here, but I've always been skeptical on Bigfoot. How do you feel about Bigfoot?
I would put more weight on this. Well, okay, first of all, we got to go back as I drool. We got to go back. I haven't eaten yet. So if you go back, they did find this kind of like upright bipedal ape, right? So it's like a mini Bigfoot. We'll call it medium foot. So they never knew that existed. They found that, I want to say, in like the Philippines, right?
Yep.
And then, okay, I'm going to rewind it back even further. Do you remember, and this is way before your time, so it's more for the chat. Do you remember a show on Nat Geo called Nat Geo Investigates?
Does anybody know about that? Who has heard of Nat Geo?
Brady's like, I'm not even going to pretend I've heard of that.
I've never watched it. I have heard of it. I have never watched it.
They had like, they were super skeptical, right? And they had like, they only got through like 3 episodes. First one was ghosts. They shot it at Eastern State. They said ghosts are fake. And there is, it could be your sister.
It's my mom.
I was going to say, could be mom. You never know. Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining us tonight. Glad you could be here. So Nat Geo only made it through 3 episodes. Number 1 was ghosts. They put it to the experts, and the experts said, nope, ghosts don't exist. It's not a thing. And they gave their reasoning why, and that's fine. Episode 2 was Bigfoot. And these are all people from Harvard and this and that. They're not like, Bigfoot hunters. 7 out of 8 of the experts said, yes, Bigfoot is legit. Yep. They asked the 8th, why did you say no? And he said, well, it's Bigfoot. It's fake. There's no Bigfoot. So he had no real rationale why it didn't exist. So I am going to go with the experts on this one and say that, yes, Bigfoot does exist. How does it, still escape detection? I don't know. I think if I had to put money down, I would say some kind of dimensional shift, which I think is very good evening to Seth. Thank you, Seth, for joining us. Always here, week in, week out. We love you. I've
seen Bigfoot prints, like being in Minnesota has the Big Winnie Cafe, and they actually have Bigfoot prints, but they're like plastered. So I kind of like, me being the skeptic, I'm like looking at them, and I'm like, I want to believe it because they actually have like the photos, but I don't know. Because that's another thing, like Wendigos are really popular up here too.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Do you know the Patterson-Gimlin Patty footage, the most famous footage of Bigfoot? The
one that everybody can't decipher if it's real or not, the one from the distance.
Yes. Yep. And it's a female.
Yep.
It's not only that nobody can kind of decide, it's that nobody can prove it's anything other than what it, is said to be. Yep. Yes, there is some weird things with the people who filmed it, but it's like, Brady, say you and I go out and look for a ghost tonight, right? and we get the most incredible video of a ghost just charging at us. Now, I stood there. I was brave. I was like, come on, ghost. You wanted us? You got us. I never believed in ghosts until I came. Oh, wait. Wrong show. Sometimes we are seekers. Sometimes we are warriors. Paranormal state. Nope. I almost had it. So say the situation isn't just haunted. It's most haunted.
Bigfoot is a fifth dimensional creature entity, if you will, Scott says.
I would agree with Scott. And so the answer to that is, if we captured a video tonight of a ghost charging at us, they would say, yeah, but look who captured it. 2 ghost hunters. And it would immediately be fake. So Patterson, Gimlin, they both went out there looking to get Bigfoot footage, but wouldn't that mean that they went to the best places they thought they might catch it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, so anyway.
So Rob, I digress. Ask you a little bit about ghost hunters, if that works for you.
Sure, absolutely.
So, how did you get involved with ghost hunters originally? Like, what drew you to TAPS?
I was never, to clarify that, I was never a TAPS member.
Yep.
That has been a long-standing, and it's nothing for or against the TAPS organization. I think they've done a lot of good things out there. And
just kind of work with them.
Well, here's what happened, right? We can tell the backstory, because you know why? Because you're the only person who cares anymore. So between me and you and anyone in the audience, here's how it went down. A team that I was co-running in Florida called FGT was approached by a production company who wanted to make a new show for Showtime. Oh my God. One of the guys who just chimed in is actually someone, he and I is a buddy of mine, Scott, and he and I are actually very busy at the moment, like going back and forth on Facebook all day for new equipment. We got new equipment coming as always. So Scott, legit, thank you for listening in. I know he's a busy guy, but anyway, that made me, so what happened was Pilgrim Films contacted, I named them. Oh, well. Pilgrim Films contacted the team I was with. They said, we're going to do a new ghost hunting show for Showtime. And so, nothing happened. We never heard back from them. Mm-hmm. About 2 years later, I got a phone call when I was down in Florida, and they said, hey, this is, so-and-so, we want you to join this, or at least send in a videotape for this ghost hunting show. Now I was like, no, I'm good. And they're like, we don't think you understand. You could be on TV. And I was like, yeah, but that's for a lot of people, that's the winning thing, right? Like, that's how you win the paranormal game. If you get on TV, you won. Not like, did you develop some new equipment? Did you come up with a new technique? No, just get on TV and say you're a big shot and everyone will believe it. It worked for me for a year or two. Then everyone's like, he's kind of a dick. And I was like, come on. Nobody was supposed to tell that part. I want 3-4 years out of being a dick. But anyway, I digress. So they contacted me. They said, you want to do this TV show? I said, no. They said, well, look, we just need one more video. We're just sending in some videos. Could you help us out? We'd really appreciate it. So I said, sure. I grabbed the video camera, shot a couple minutes of tape, just me yammering like this, sent it in. They said, if you don't hear from us by Friday, you didn't get it. Friday came and went, no biggie. Tuesday, I got a phone call, said, hey, you got to fly on Thursday.
Wow.
You're hired. You're going. And I said, well, I don't even know if I'm interested. They said, well, go shoot the pilot episode, which wound up being, I want to say, Scotland and England, I think, was the pilot.
Right off the bat, man. Wow.
Yeah, and they were pretty good location. Well, but you know what? What kind of sucked about that is the team hadn't really gelled, right? Like, it wasn't like I knew Andy Andrews or Brian Harnois or Donna, Barry. I didn't know Shannon. I didn't know any of those people. when the show started. So,
Yep.
I talked on the phone to Andy and Brian. That was about it. So we went to these incredible, here's the funny thing, right? Chillingham Castle is supposed to be like crazy haunted.
Yeah.
Right. So we investigate there, and I'm doing this whole thing, and we get like 4 EVPs, and we get some object movement, and we get this, that, and the other, right? All this crazy stuff. And then they're like, okay, shoot the reveal. So I shoot the reveal, and I'm not knowing like that this is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in all of Europe. So I'm like, yeah, we got these EVPs, but not enough to say it's haunted. Thanks for bringing us in. What? Everyone's like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, well, we didn't like document a ghost, so how can we say it's haunted? Like, for all we know, we can get EVPs anywhere.
Yeah.
So saying it has to be haunted because we got an EVP doesn't seem like that scientific to me. And basically the message over time I got was, nobody cares about your theories. Nobody cares what you think is haunted. Just make a good show. And I was like, nah, I'm going to keep this show boring as paint drying as long as possible. And that's what I did. So I got almost 3 seasons of just boring everyone who watched my show. Besides you, who were 10 eating a bowl of cereal, like, yay, go get him, Barry. Barry number 1.
So like when you film those episodes, how many days did it take to film a single episode of GHI?
About 3.
3?
So day number 1 is the tour and the tour investigation. Day number 2 is evidence reveal or evidence review.
Yep.
So we would get a day just to go over all the DVR footage, and we'd switch who had to watch DVR, got to listen to all the recorders, watch all the handy cams. So we got 1 day to do that. And then the next day was a reveal and travel. So it was about 3 days an episode.
Okay, so did you guys like space out how you guys film those episodes throughout a season, or did you guys do it in one foul swoop?
No, I wish we kind of had. That's how I arranged, because I was the producer and creator of Haunting Australia. So I arranged that so we would shoot it like breakneck pace. We shot 8 episodes in like 5 weeks, and we're home, which was pretty crazy. And people were burned out, but I was like, we're making money here, people, and we're making a good show. But anyway, GHI, we would shoot maybe 5 weeks, go home for a couple weeks, go back out. A lot of people, I see people later on talking about how incredibly difficult it was. It wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I look back now and I was like, I was living the dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was traveling the world. I was trying all this new stuff. I was, getting in touch. I'll say there was a couple of us who, wherever we went, we wanted to like get into the culture. Barry, Brandy, they stick out to me as people who really want to go out there and investigate and hear the language and go to some museums. So that was pretty incredible. Trying the food. For anyone who has never had guinea pig in Peru, don't do it. It is nauseating. It tastes like a mixture of bad fish and bad chicken. Yeah, and they actually put spikes through its little paws and just put it on a wood board in front of you.
Yeah, I've always wondered what it tasted like, because like I had a cousin from Ecuador through marriage that I was like, he said he ate guinea pig, and I was like, I don't know, man.
No. I talked to my buddy who was on the show, and he's like, what do you think of Peru? He filmed with us down there. And so I was like, oh yeah, I tried guinea pig. He's like, why? He's like, nobody eats guinea pig anymore, dude. That's for like what we used to eat historically. That's for like tourists now. I was like, now you tell me. I almost puked, dude. And I got an iron stomach, and I almost like lost it on the guinea pig. But yeah, man, like, so was it tough? I was traveling the world before Ghost Hunters International. That's what a lot of people don't know, is that a month, or not even a month, about 3 weeks before I was in England filming GHI, I was in London and France doing my other job. You know what I mean? So I was all over the world before that, for years before that. So being away from home, ask him about his Sarasota experience. Okay, Brady, we have a question in the chat. They want to know about your Sarasota experience.
That was one of the most frightening experiences of my life, Rob.
Why so? Why so? And how would you do it differently if you could?
I would just make sure that I went in, with a clear head and kind of understood the spirits a little bit more,
Okay, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to need to rewind you back just a moment to understand the situation. What transpired? And now we know, you didn't go in with maybe the best mindset. Maybe you didn't have the psychology you do now, but what was the experience itself?
Rob, what are you doing in my head right now? Why did I tell this story? You're supposed to be telling us. What's going on? What was your Sarasota?
I wasn't there, but the audience would love to hear what happened. And I think it's very honest and open of you. Most people will be like, I'd do it the same way. But you're like, nah, I'm better now than I was a month ago. I'm better now than I was 3 months ago. So what exactly happened?
I don't know, Rob. It was just a lot of mental torment. And I just I don't really want to get into the dirty details, Rob.
Okay. Can you give us, and I'm not going to pry, and the audience, they can approach you. If you give everyone your Facebook and all your details at the end of the show, I'll give you time for that. They can get in touch with you and talk about it privately. But you feel it's one of those experiences that you came out, if you had it to do over again, it would have been totally different now.
Absolutely. 100%, Rob.
And that's the key. A lot of people come up to me and they go, I've been investigating the paranormal for 25 years. And I say, that's great. But what have you learned? What do you do differently now? Well, now I use a this instead of a that. No. That's not what I'm asking you.
Yep.
What have you learned? There's techniques out there, Carl Pfeiffer and the Estes experiment.
The Estes method. Yeah.
Yeah. The Estes method. I'm not a fan, but I appreciate, I don't even want to go down that road. Anything with spirit boxes, I just look for the off button. And that's a whole different discussion. I try not to knock people who subscribe to it, but but what I'm saying is that for Carl, instead of him saying like, I've been doing the paranormal for 5 years, he can say, I developed a new methodology towards looking into the paranormal. That's going to be more impressive. I did my first paranormal investigation when I was 16. I'm now 19. No?
You're 19.
25.
All right, Rob, we're going to go with 25.
All right, so I did my first investigation at 16. I am now 51 years young.
Nice,
so it's been, And so, but I don't walk up to people and go, I've got this many years. Because what was I, for years and years, I was just doing the same thing. I'd bring a tape recorder, right? And I'd say, can you tell us your name? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the cat. So why is that impressive? If you so you want a pat on the back, you want a cookie. So I'm more impressed by someone who says, hey, I just got started last month, but I made this camera, this high speed shutter camera that I think could actually help, because I think that spirits generally are moving too quickly. And if we can take more frames per second, we can capture these things.
Absolutely.
So I don't care if it works or not. I love the fact that you're thinking of something new. And like I said, we saw the Scott pop into the chat. That's what Scott and I are doing right now, is if we say, oh, I heard someone did something similar to that, then it's off the table. It's out. If it's not brand new, if it's not result oriented, if it doesn't have a real rationale for being included in paranormal investigation, we're not interested.
Absolutely.
And so it's pretty exciting, but anyway, that will all come out in time. I like to do my stuff kind of behind the scenes. If I come out with a new piece of equipment, I don't put my name on it, because there is some backlash, and people will be like, I got a message where this person's like, I can't be your friend anymore. I say, oh yeah, why is that? And they sent me this email from someone on their team that said, that Rob's like one of the most hated people in the paranormal. I said, I have done it. Thank you. Thank you. Because if you are the most popular person in the paranormal, like in the what I call the paratainment industry side of things, you're hot garbage.
Yeah.
You're faking stuff, using bum ass equipment. You know what I mean? So if people go, man, we hate that guy. We hate that guy. That's fine. Hate me for the right reasons. You know what I mean?
Amen.
And
to
so
that.
I don't put my name. I don't go out there and go, hey, buy this new piece of equipment because I was involved in it. Because I think that a lot of times that has more of a bad effect on it than the positive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get that, and that's fine. And all the hateration can continue forever. I'm gonna still be doing it. You know, almost everyone I know that was around when I started doing this isn't doing it anymore.
Okay.
You know,
there's kind of lost the drive for it, you think, or is it just because
people burn out? You know what I mean? Like how long can you do a hobby that you never quite get to the payoff?
Absolutely, man. Yeah,
because I've had more paranormal experiences. Now Doug just chimed in and said the world needs more Brady. And you know, Doug, you're absolutely right. And that's what I've said. If we could clone them, we'd make 5 of them.
My God, you're making a grown man cry.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. He is a gift to all of us. That's what I like to say. I have that tattooed as a tramp stamp. Brady is our gift. But I'm not going to show it. You know, I'll post it on my Facebook later on. But yeah, you know, so I'm going to keep doing this. You know, people ask me, like, this is a weird question, right? And you didn't ask it. Thank you so much. Because here's what they ask you. They go, Brady, you were on that show. Here comes the ghosts. Do you still investigate? Now think about what that question really means, right?
Yeah.
So you were only really investigating to be on TV. And once you got on, so that was the end game. Like, and the truth is, if you look up a lot of the people who you saw on these shows, the only time, and this is the only shade I'm going to throw on this interview, the only time you see most of these people investigating is when they're doing paid events.
Yep.
They're not going out there on their weekends. They're not going out there on their time off. It's just something to put a couple bucks in their pocket now. They don't care. They're not doing anything new or innovative. And that's okay too, right? Like, I mean, I guess they put their time in, and if they just want to make some money off it now and people want to go meet them, you know, I guess I know some of these people and I'm like, Brady, I can tell you, guaranteed, I know some shows that you've done more investigations than these people leading these shows. I'm not kidding. The casting of some of these people, they're just types. You know,
wow.
I mean, I'm not going to name the shows, but people know what I'm talking about. People know, you know, I mean, I mentioned, like, made a little joke about Zach, but Zach opens his show by saying, yeah, I didn't give a crap about ghosts, but then I saw one and I thought it was pretty cool, so I started looking for him. Okay, cool. At least he's honest about that. You know what I mean? He's not like, since I was 4 years old, I've been punching ghosts in the scrotum, which would be kind of a cool intro. Like, I'd be into it if he said that too. Zach, if you are out there, you know, if you are watching this interview, you can use that. I will not sue. It is yours. Punch him in the scrotum, Zach. Give him what for? The old 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost Hunters International, like, that series was literally almost 15 years. That was one of the first shows that was really on television, man. Yeah. You know, like, so what was there, like, a negative backlash towards you? Was internet a thing then? Like, yes, it was.
The sci-fi boards were outrageous.
Really?
And keep in mind that the first night, this goes back to MySpace.
Yeah.
When the first episode of GHI came out, Jay and Grant both put up on their MySpace, hey, we have nothing to do with this show. If you hate it, that's fine with us. Basically something to that extent.
Yeah.
And I get why that transpired and all that's water under the bridge. But of course, people wanted to follow their heroes. So they were like, yeah, this show sucks right off the bat. People were tearing into us, you know, shredding us like this new guy sucks, this and that. And I saw some outrageous stuff. You know, the first Somebody was like, he looks like a pedo that would jump out of a van for kids.
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And my mom saw that.
Oh,
and
oh,
it was that crazy back then. And the sci-fi boards we used to, and I can say it now because they don't exist anymore, thank God. But the sci-fi boards were harsh. And we used to joke around, like when the episode was about to air, we would say, you know, who do you think's going to get shredded the worst this week? And we knew, like, if somebody got scared, everyone's going to be like, oh, why are they even out there? If you're so scared of ghosts. And by the way, I just like to make that sound. That means someone's making a comment that is not very intelligent. But yeah, man. And so here's the thing, like, people are like, you're never going to be on TV again. Yeah, I get that. I'm 51. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to shave my goatee and be like, hey guys, like, that's a skibidi toilet. You know what I mean? And try and be hip and start some YouTube crap. Like, no, I'm good. I mean, people say, like, what was the most proud accomplishment of you on television? You want me to spill it right here?
Yeah, do it, man.
I was on Kitchen Nightmares.
Really?
Real talk. I am not kidding. It was a restaurant called Le Bistro in South Florida. And my sound person, Nancy Kwan, also worked on Kitchen Nightmares. So she said, hey, you want me to get you on the list to go eat in the restaurant? So I think, like, I'd never paid the money to have my IMDb. So if you're in the chat, feel free to go on my IMDb and talk about what a dick I am. I don't care. I'm not paying a penny. But if I did own my IMDb, I would make sure to credit myself with Kitchen Nightmares. I mean, right. I don't like, this is turning into Rob pats himself on the back hour, which seems like every hour to me. Because even if I'm by myself, I'll be like, hey, you're pretty cool, Rob. I'll be like, yeah, you're damn right, Rob. You're pretty awesome. But no, a lot of people don't know that I did a show called Real Fear, The Truth Behind the Movies for the Chiller channel, which was a sister channel to Sci-Fi. I didn't appear on it. I created it. I produced it. It was a #1 show. We made 2 segments. Katrina Weidman from Gateway to Hell and Paranormal State was the lead on it. And so, it was a #1 show. You know what I mean? So I've done everything I kind of would want to do on television. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you're on Destination Truth too, right?
I was on before. I mean, now he's got like Truth is the Destination, Expedition Honesty, Truth X Honesty, Truther. I can't keep track of how many damn shows Josh has now. But yeah, that was actually, like, you talk about my memories. When we were, it wasn't on camera, but we went and we did the investigation, and Josh works his friggin' backside off. He's also a producer on a show, but a lot of people are producer in name only. Josh, like, really works hard to get his show where he wants it to be. We filmed for like 22 hours. We were up. And so on the way back, it was incredible. We were in these like kind of pontoon boats with outboard motors. There was a huge thunderstorm, lightning everywhere at like 5 a.m. The sun hadn't quite come up yet. It was just amazing. And so we had like this 2-hour boat ride where we were just like laying out. Everyone else was snoring away. Dustin was right there getting sick. Unfortunately, he got the flu really bad on that trip. And but that was pretty amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that was one of those times where you're like, wow, like, I can't really like believe this is my life right now. So that was pretty insane. But yeah, I did Destination Truth. I got credited for being on Ghost Hunters Academy because I used a clip of GHI on it. So
I remember that show,
yeah, like,
yeah, is that where they like made groups up and then they got to be a part of? What was the theme of that show?
I'm still asking myself the same question. No, that's not nice. It was supposed to be, I never quite got it, because it was supposed to be that the winners went to TAPS.
Yep.
Right. And so season 1, the winners were Susan and Carl, and they sent them to GHI. And I was like, that doesn't really make sense. They won your show. Like, we don't investigate the same way that Ghost Hunters does. You know, it's different shows. Yeah,
Yep.
we are a spinoff. And as you mentioned before, we were one of like the top 4 big ones.
Absolutely.
Around the almost the exact same time, there was Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters, well, Most Haunted Ghost Hunters predates it. But then Ghost Hunters spun off Ghost Hunters International at the same time that Paranormal State was starting up, and at the same time that Ghost Adventures was doing their pilot, that 2-hour pilot they started.
Yep, the pilot that they did at the Washoe Club, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, no, it was before that. It was the one where they had the brick.
With the brick that threw, yeah. Yep. Oh, I don't even remember where that was. Oh, it goes wow. Yeah, that was gnarly though, the brick scene.
Oh, come on, man. Anyway, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Hey, didn't they have two cameras set up? They had 2 cameras in the room where that brick flew. How come they never showed the second angle?
Oh, come on, Rob. Now you're going to get me going on.
I've said too much already. If anyone wants to go back and watch, it's all right there. Look, man, the people on some of these shows, I'm not knocking Ghost Adventures. They do what they do, and they do it incredibly successfully.
Absolutely.
But these shows, we're not, I mean, myself, anyone else on these shows, we were not super trained to like, oh, we're going to have a ghost swing from a wire and this and that. So if you watch a lot of these shows, I mean, maybe it's because I made TV, but I can watch these shows and be like, that's fake. That's fake. This is how they set that up. Goldfield. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Jenny.
Goldfield. Yep.
Yep. And so, I mean, that the whole thing, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, is that what cracked me up just making TV to make the point is the whole paranormal lockdown. Remember, that was a big thing. We didn't ghost anymore. People were inviting you to their paranormal lockdown. But if you're making TV, you can't lock all the doors. That's a fire code violation. What are you talking about? What if one of your batteries died? You trying to pretend you didn't have a film crew outside? Stop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there was anyone in the building with you, but I'm sure there was. But, like the whole, anyway, that's Zach. He does what he does, and he does it extremely well. So, and I love when people go, oh, man, that's just sour grapes. You damn right it is. You know how much money Baggins has? Man, it is sour as hell. I am sour. I am bitter. Here's the world's tiniest violin. But yeah.
So, like, when you filmed the investigations with GHI, how many cameras were with you? Like, did you have a big crew with you, or was it a smaller crew?
Okay, so generally you would have what we called, and this is just being forthright, the A team, the B team, and the C team.
Okay.
A team would generally be me and Dustin, Andy, Barry, whoever I was with that week. And then the B team was a different group. C team is just numbers at that point. And so each one of us, so I had my friend Dave Lane was my camera guy. Matt Hoban, who went on to make a ton of the ghost shows you've seen. Matthew Hoban was my producer in the beginning. And then Dave Hobbs, who went on to do some great stuff, was my producer. And we had a sound person.
Okay.
What do you think about the hit that was put on Aaron by his wife? Brady, that is to you.
I'm going to keep my hands out of that one. I have no idea, man. I like ghost.
No. Nobody's.
I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible. I mean,
okay. I think that you thought we were accusing you of being involved somehow, and that is not the case.
No, I just. Wow, it's that was such a shitty thing, Like, could you imagine?
Well, here's the thing. It's awful, right? But let's keep it 100. A lot of people said they stepped over the line when they showed him getting the phone call that let him know on the show. Come on now. You think they didn't you think the police so Aaron had his phone on to ring and was just like, I heard some. Hold on, Zach. Yellow. Aaron here. She what? With who? Come on, man. That was all like, I know it happened legit, but did they use it? Did the network and the show use it for a ratings grab? Hell yeah. Come on. That's pretty blatant.
Do you think that was like the real footage from the moment?
No, of course not.
You don't think
they
so?
went back after it happened and they filmed him getting the phone call. That did not happen, right? He was not in the middle of filming when the police called him at 2 a.m. Come on, stop.
Yeah.
You know, do I think it's and don't, you know, I don't want to be misrepresented. I hung out with Aaron at Scarefest in Kentucky and had an awesome time. You know,
really?
Aaron's one of the funnier guys in the paranormal, hands down. And I don't mean all the high stepping, like the dude is just legit funny as hell. So I really like Aaron. Thank God he's okay. I'm glad that they caught wind of it and that she is getting the help she needs. But as far as the show goes and them trying to make it like, oh, this happened during the investigation, I'm not buying what they're selling on that one.
Yeah, no.
You know,
Patty's always said that about Aaron. She said he's just like the sweetest soul. So
he's an awesome guy. I don't know Nick. I've talked to Zach on the phone twice, and Zach was cool. You know, I mean, we didn't like joke around. We were talking about some business stuff. Zach was totally cool. He apologized to me over some beef we had on Twitter 10, 15 years ago. I was like, dude, I started all that. You don't have to apologize for anything. And he's like, all right, well, as long as we're all good. I said, yeah, man, it's dead.
Well,
yeah, so we squashed that. We squashed that in 10 seconds.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so it wasn't that serious. You know, people say like, you know, you gotta forgive and forget. And I never had beef with Zach Baggins. There's people legit in the paranormal that I do not like.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That I legit am like, you're a phony, you're a fraud, you talk a whole bunch of shit, but would never back it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of those people in the paranormal. And you know, I am talking on the paratainment side. So just to be clear, Zach was never one of those people. Zach was never someone that we were going to get in a fist fight. It was never.
Yeah, I've heard that from multiple people that have worked with him. They said he's just humble pie. So
he's total business.
Yeah.
Wasn't
so
like,
that's cool.
Yeah, so he was good. You know, I wish dude well. I wish, you know, all the Ghost Adventures guys, all the guys out there still doing their thing. Even I see those young little Sam and Colby running around, you know, those wacky little kids. And I see a lot of that now. I see, you know, and unfortunately, a lot of it now goes into what I call microwave ghost hunting.
Yep.
You got to have something exciting happen all the time. So, you know, they use equipment that's going to guarantee that there's always response.
Yeah, like, you know, phone apps, all that kind of stuff. I understand. Yeah, you know, even devices that are just faulty.
Well, you know, I mean, one of the things that people get mad about, and here's the 100 Club. I'm going to put you on the spot for real this time.
Yeah.
What does EMF have to do with ghosts?
Electromagnetic?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like for me, I've always used EMS because I've heard that they use the electromagnetic to come through as like communication. So like the spikes will come from that. So
where did that come? Where can you like grandfather that idea? Where did that idea come from?
I have no idea. I've just always heard about just like, I don't know where I heard that from, but that's kind of always been like my mind state on that. You know, like,
okay, so if I said that EMF is just kind of surrounding us at all times, and every once in a while it gets high enough to raise the pulse on our meters and has nothing to do with ghosts, would you accept that is a possibility?
Yeah. Yeah.
But most people won't do that, right? Because they got so much invested in, I got an EMF meter that tickles my feet. I've got an EMF meter that makes me toast. Well, why are you measuring EMF? Oh, because ghosts. No. Ghosts what? Like before, back in the day, we didn't know everything that was given off EMF. So it seemed like you would say, is there anyone here? And you'd wait 8-10 seconds and your K2 would bing a light. And you say, can you go up to orange? and you'd wait a minute and a half, and finally it would go to orange, and you go, there you go, it's talking to us, right? But now that we know that EMF is surrounding us, I mean, I'm sitting here with 2 cell phones, Amazon Echo, because I'm surrounded by EMF right now. So how does it look, me saying, if you're here, light this up? You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what I'm always working on, is the next step to, if you really want to investigate the paranormal, look, and this is, I know we're going to start running out of time, but I think it's an important message. I have nothing against people who are out there for the thrill and the fun of it.
Absolutely.
Life is supposed to be fun. They're supposed to do stuff that gets your pulse racing. That's how you get into the life, right? But then be honest about that. Say, man, I love going to haunted houses because it scares the crap out of me. I have no beef with that. But when you start saying I'm a serious paranormal investigator, then I want to know what you do. So how do you investigate Jamie wants to know, what are your thoughts on the SLS cams? First of all, let's call them what they are. They're Xbox Connect accessories with a tablet, right? So you take a piece of software that is meant to find the human shape, right? So that's all it's trying to do, is make a stick figure. Now you aim it at a place where there's a vacuum up against the wall, and it says, well, that's a leg and a torso. Because if I see, and Brady, I said this to you before we even got started tonight, if I see one more video where they go, oh my God, the ghost is dancing. It's dancing. It's dancing on your head right now. Then you're thrill seeking, and that's cool. Do you? But don't pretend that's science. You know what I mean? It's for fun. A lot of this stuff, the Ovulus. I've got an Ovulus Mach 7.9. How the fudge did the ghost figure out of your 10,000 phrases the exact combination of EMF and humidity to get it to say, get out? You can go through every word in the Ovulus. You know what you're never going to find in there? Rainbow, kittens. Could you imagine if you said, how did you die? Rainbow. What? Who killed you?
So you don't have an Ovulus?
Fuck no.
What do you have? What equipment do you investigate with, Rob?
Shoot. Oh. Let's see what just came in. No joke today. Oh.
Is that a floor?
No, it is not. Hold on. I got a voice recorder going off in my pocket. It stopped. Okay. So what do I investigate with?
Yeah.
I investigate with this.
Okay.
Now what is it? It's a TSI Nunya.
Okay.
It's the newest Nunya, comes with more of Nunya business than before.
You're on fire, man.
I'm a dick. No,
have been on this is your first podcast of the year, so you're doing great. You're being so civil.
Yeah, as we talked about, I don't really do podcasts anymore. And for anyone watching at home going like, I see why. This is why I don't do podcasts. Because the difference between that equipment and what most people are using at home is that if you're going to do real investigation, you got to take a piece of equipment, leave it in one place. I know that hurts people's feelings.
Yep.
And it's got a data log. It's got to take a reading every, say, 0.5, 1 second. Then you got to go home after your investigation, plug it into your computer.
Okay.
And then what you're doing is, so say, Brady, you say to me, hey, Rob, man, did you guys feel like really weird in here? Like somebody was looking at us? I'm going to write down the exact time. Now, tomorrow, when I've got it time-stamped and data logged, I'm going to take all my equipment, put it on a graph, and say, I'll be darned. Right before he had that weird feeling, the carbon levels in the room dropped significantly. And so that's something we want to continue to watch for. So that's the equipment I use. Nothing you're going to find at a ghost store. any of the anything marked for ghost hunting, you're probably not going to see me using it.
So you're going in with the science entirely with it. So you like seeing like the actual data and all that.
Yes, cool. Absolutely. I think cool. That's the only way to do it. That being said, I have nothing against someone who says, well, I have mediumship abilities and I can sense when the ghost is here. Cool. I can't. So I got to use this equipment. If you can do that, amazing. You know, I always said like, well, you don't want a medium on your team. Of course I do. I'm just aiming the DVR cameras any direction. If you think that there's a better spot to aim them at, tell me. You know, I have no problem with that. And I'm not here to knock someone who says I'm psychic or I'm a medium. Bless you. You know, that's incredible. I'm not one, you know, so I have to use, you know, that particular device measures about 4 different things. It's got Bluetooth so I can watch the results in real time. So you can go to me, hey, Rob, can you go down to the basement and check out that device, the TSI, and see why it's, you know, suddenly going haywire? I go down there and then, you know, I see a flash of light or an apparition or I hear a disembodied voice. Now we're starting to make the right connections. Yeah. So to me, that's ghost hunting equipment, not a Xbox accessory that someone figured out. It picks shapes out of any straight lines and then it dances because it can't quite figure out how to make 2 legs out of it.
Yeah, but I found XLS for the first time ever at the Boyd House in October, and I didn't get to see anything because people said they got some stuff that was pretty cool, but I didn't get to really see it. So,
you know, I saw one that I was like, I was trying to believe in it. I was trying to ride the lightning with it and have fun with it, and then they were like, "Oh my God, don't freak out!" But it's dancing right on your head, and all you see is this figure standing on the woman's head, but it's going, meh, meh, meh.
Oh no.
It didn't look like dancing to me. You know, so it was, but you know, I mean, that's YouTube. I guess you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, these guys on YouTube now, they're doing way more viewers than we ever did on cable TV, you know, so bless them. I just wish that you know, I hate saying it because this is going to be the most egotistical thing I've said yet this evening. And it's going to be hard to top is I wish there was someone on YouTube with my mindset.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, we talked earlier in the discussion about, you know, you're learning and you're saying, if I had gone in that same situation again, if I were to do TV again, I would definitely try harder to balance the excitement and the scientific angle. You know, yep. I had a producer tell me, you know why you suck, Rob? And any conversation that starts with that, you know, you're going right into it strong. They say, you know why you suck on TV? I said, no, why do I suck on TV? He said, you look like a TV repairman.
Oh my God.
You just look fucking bored. And I said, well, you know, what do you expect from me? You know, this is kind of what I do. This is my big thing. And they're like, could you at least like be excited that you're in these foreign countries and you're getting this opportunity? And that kind of stuck with me because they had a good point. I missed the last comment. I believe it said, for sure. There's something to be appreciated about a person that can objectively observe and yet also not force their beliefs. Mindy, absolutely spot on. Couldn't agree more. You know, I am not here to tell people I will mock you for using an SLS or a spirit box. But then again, I'm 51 years old with a monkey on my knit cap. So, and just so everybody asks, yes, nothing's changed. It's just messed up.
Let's go. One more question for you before we wrap things up tonight, man.
Okay. Jamie Bennett wants to know, what are the top must investigate places? Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, must as far as ease of access. Beechworth Mental Asylum in Australia will never disappoint. That place is haunted as, That's a kind of one of those be careful what you wish for locations. I want to really thank Brady for taking the time out to be with us here tonight. It has been an incredible conversation. We'd love to invite you back to Portals and Pathways again anytime you're free. We wish you luck in everything you do. If you want to give out your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, what have you, Snapchat?
Yeah, everything. Let's just do it.
Go for it.
Everything.
If you look,
you know what's going on, my friend. Let's make it happen.
Oh, I don't have anything. I closed my Twitter years ago, before it was X, and Facebook is I don't know. You know, I mean, like my Facebook is just me making posting bad dad joke memes now. Like, you know, I mean, like we were talking about. Doug's got it. Doug wants to get you back on here. Can we schedule a part 2 with you? Give me 1 second. I could have you back on in March.
I think that's a great idea. Fantastic. March sounds beautiful.
I'm going to start advertising it tonight. No, in all honesty, Brady, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great discussion. It is time for me to sign off.
I don't know. It's an honor to even talk to you, man. So thank you so much for actually taking the time.
Well, I'm going to let you do your sign off, and everyone else have a good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, brother. All right, guys. So that was awesome. I can't believe we just chatted with Robb Demarest. That was one of the coolest moments in the paranormal yet. Like I said, watching Robb since I was like 10 years old and being able to chat with him in a live setting with all my friends and family hopping in and chatting throughout. Thank you guys so much. I want to thank Julie Joe Larson and Solitary Spectre Hunter. We were talking our brains off today, and just check out their Facebook page. It's Julie Joe Larson Author, Solitary Spectre Hunter, Horvath Spiritual Consulting. Next week, I am taking off for the Christmas holidays, so Merry Christmas to you all, and I will see you guys in the airwaves on December 27th with Larry Iso III and Brittany Bickett from Ashes to Echoes Paranormal. I will see you guys soon. Thank you.